Naked Heart Revolution is the go-to podcast for high-achieving individuals seeking to transform their relationships and life. Hosted by Jenny Bingham, an intimacy reset coach. Each episode explores emotional reconnection, personal growth, or business insight through expert guests sharing real stories and strategies. Whether you want to deepen your connection with your partner or elevate your business, this podcast delivers the tools and mindset shifts needed for lasting change. Subscribe to join the community focused on intentional healing and empowerment. So you say you're from Martinique, so it's French?
Yes, it is.
And how long ago did you learn English?
Yeah. Like many people, French people, you learn English at school, but I couldn't really speak it until I actually moved to London, because I moved to London after my studies to do an internship, and I stayed there and I spent 9 years living in London. So that's really when I ended up speaking English. So at the time, my English was better than it is now, but I still can speak fluently. I've been wanting to do public speaking for, I think, a few years, because I really started thinking about public speaking back in 2019, 2020. I even had signed up for a speaking course, and a speaker training, and then COVID came and lockdown, the training got cancelled. Then there was nothing for about like a year or so, and by the time COVID was gone, lockdown was gone, I'd moved and I wanted to focus on writing. I think also there was some fear in me of going for the public speaking, if I'm really honest, not just because of writing, because I could have been doing both at the same time, but I decided, okay, I'm going to focus on writing. I think I wasn't ready yet to be a proper speaker, even though, which is weird, I'd been speaking for years. I'd been on TV several times, but it's like launching the full public speaker career, it was massive for me. I think that's why I was a bit scared. So I kind of exited, and I'm back to it basically now.
Okay, so how did you start up again the fact that you wanted to be a speaker? How did this come around?
I think it's been in me for years, and and I've been wanting to share my message in a on bigger stages, to a bigger audience. And even though I do love writing, and I've written like 6 books for adults now, I felt like the voice is something very special. When you can able to speak, you can touch people with their heart. So I do love writing. I think writing is a great way of touching people. But when you're able to speak, it's so much more powerful because you can connect with people on stage. Even if you do it via podcasts, via videos, being able to speak and to touch people's heart and to impact people, I think it's just so powerful. And it's also linked to one of my personal wounds. And for me, it's a journey of liberation, basically, because I was very shy when I was a kid. I grew up with that belief that I was not allowed to be myself. I wasn't allowed to speak. So I was very shy, very, I would say, closed for lots of years. I even had so many issues with my voice, being able to speak. I broke my teeth when I was 9. So I basically, by the time they took several years to actually fix it for me. So I was laughing like this because I was ashamed of speaking, open my mouth. I had laryngitis, chronic laryngitis for years because I was so repressed. I lost my voice several times. So there's like a history of things with being able to speak. And it's been a journey. And for me, I felt like, I think you get the wounds sometimes that are aligned with your truth and what you're supposed to do in life, what you're supposed to bring to people. And I think this wound about expressing myself and being myself it's actually linked to my power of my mission, or one of the things I'm supposed to do here on this earth, which is helping people to be themselves. That's why what I do in coaching, I help people I don't teach them to do speaking, but I teach them to be authentic, to be themselves, to allow themselves to be who they truly are. I did that for a couple of years, and I was doing it through helping people to find their purpose, to find what is their inner calling, so their life would have more meaning. But when we're all saying, I'm going to find my purpose, what we're actually saying is, I'm going to be who I am. That's it. I'm going to get to know who I am truly inside, and let that express and reveal in my life. So it's all about being yourself, expressing yourself. So for me, it's all linked. What I'd call being true to yourself, knowing your truth and expressing that, whether that be in writing and speaking, is about unleashing whatever is inside of you. So that's what I do. So basically, at the moment, what I've been speaking about was very much about how do you thrive after hardships like breakups. Yeah, and because I thought like there was something for me to bring to that pace, but I'm evolving basically, and the way I'm thinking about it is that it's actually the same route. When I help people to thrive after a breakup, what I'm actually doing is helping them to come back to their true self, because healing from a heartbreak is also coming back to your true self, because I believe that like a heartbreak or a breakup is not meant to break us, but to help us break free. So I see, if we allow it, a breakup as a pruning process. You know, when you prune a tree, you cut things so the tree would grow healthier. And for me, the breakup has a bit that pruning aspect of it, if you allow it, because it's going to make you face things you need to let go of, things that are not aligned with who you truly are, wounds that you need to heal, stories, limiting stories that you need to let go, and so on. So that's what I think, basically, that for me, healing a breakup is also going back to who you truly are. It's not only that, but there's a huge aspect of letting go of the stories you've been telling about yourself that were not true, about the relationship, or about who you truly are. There's a lot of stories going on that you're actually becoming aware of, and it's also an opportunity to heal. I'll give you an example, maybe to make things maybe clearer for the people that will be watching us. You know, when I had a breakup like a few years ago, it was for me a very difficult one, because it was a breakup after being cheated on. So I got into a lot of anger, but anger like I'd never felt before, like having headaches, stomach aches, insomnia, like something like was massive. I'd never felt so much anger, not even after divorcing my ex-husband, you see? So it was one of this breakup that actually brought up so many things. I felt so angry, and for weeks. And you know, and for weeks I was blaming him. Why did he do this to me? Why did that happen to me, etc. And everything started changing when I started asking different questions, like, why am I in so much pain? Yes, he has cheated on me, okay, but what I'm feeling is like way too big, way too painful. What is going on? And when I look deeper into it, I realized that wound, that breakup, that betrayal had actually awakened something inside me, an old story from my childhood. And the story was that I wasn't good enough to be loved by my dad. You know, I grew up thinking my dad didn't love me. I always, because I actually interpreted his lack of hugs and his very strict way of raising us, my sister and I, as a lack of love, you know. And there was also a story when I was young that I transferred that perception. Basically, you know, when my sister was born at the hospital, my dad arrived with a bottle of champagne, and there was champagne. Everybody was celebrating the newborn baby. And when I was born, actually the bottle of champagne stayed sealed. When he discovered it was a second girl because he wanted a boy. So what my childhood mind made up about that, it made it something very painful that first, I shouldn't have been born. And second, I will never be good enough for my dad to love me because I will never be a boy. So I grew up with this thing, this wound that I will never be good enough to be loved. So when this breakup occurred and the cheating and so on, it brought up to the surface all that pain and so on. So that's why it was so painful. I wasn't just like losing a relationship or losing someone. I was reliving an old wound, and it was so painful. So it was for me the opportunity to do this pruning process and to see, okay, do I want to live by this rule that I'm not good enough to be loved by a man, or do I want to believe something different? So what if that breakup, that betrayal, were not the proof that I wasn't good enough to be loved by a man, but maybe just the indication that and some part of me needed healing, and there's some things I needed to improve in my relationship, like communications and so on. So I had to let go of an identity of a story and start doing this pruning process. And this has been the case several times with the different breakups I went through, basically. For me, that's why I believe it's a pruning process. And I also believe that breakups are here to reveal identity and not stories that are not aligned with who you are, with who you are, limiting stories, but even also limiting identities. And that's why I call it identity pruning. For me, a breakup is a form of identity pruning because you need to let go part of identity that are not aligned or congruent with who you are truly and where you want to go, the type of relationship you want to build, etc., etc.
If people want to get a hold of you, these women who are curious on how you could help them or just know a little bit more about either your speech or your coaching, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
They can social media. They can follow me on Instagram. So it's easy. It's just Peggy Ebring. It's my Instagram account, Peggy Ebring. They can follow me on social media. I also have a website. At the moment, it's not in English yet, but it will be. It's just peggyebring.com. They can. I've got resources there. And if they speak French, they can watch my website. But I think the easiest is just LinkedIn or Instagram.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you very much.